As we look forward to the start of the NBA season, the big news is Stephen A. Smith's bold prediction about the New York Knicks. On First Take, Stephen A. and a panel featuring Shannon Sharpe, Brian Windhorst, and Shams Charania broke down the most intriguing storylines in the NBA ahead of opening night. And of course, Stephen A. couldn't resist giving his take on his favorite team, the New York Knicks. Let's start by revisiting Stephen A.'s take on the Knicks. He's been vocal about his optimism regarding the Knicks' chances this season, especially with the acquisition of Karl-Anthony Towns. According to Stephen A., Towns is arguably the best shooting big man in the NBA, citing his impressive 39% three-point shooting from last season. The combination of Towns with Jaylen Brunson, who continues to shine as one of the league's rising stars, and Mikal Bridges, a solid two-way player who consistently delivers on both ends of the floor, gives the Knicks an edge in the Eastern Conference. Stephen A. is especially excited about how Towns complements the Knicks roster. Losing Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo might have been tough, but bringing in a big man like Towns changes the game. His ability to stretch the floor as a big man gives the Knicks a versatile offensive weapon, and with Brunson handling the ball and Bridges on the wing, New York could have one of the most dynamic offenses in the league. Not to mention, Bridges' elite defensive skills further bolster the Knicks' ability to lock down opponents. However, not everything is perfect, and Stephen A. was candid about his concerns. Injuries, particularly to key players like Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa, are a major worry. Tom Thibodeau, known for pushing his players to the limit, could face a serious challenge in managing the team's depth early in the season. The Knicks bench, especially with injuries, may lack the firepower they need to compete with teams like the Boston Celtics or Milwaukee Bucks. But even with these setbacks, Stephen A. remains confident that if the Knicks can stay healthy, they can be the biggest threat to the Celtics in the East. Brian Windhorst also chimed in, raising some concerns about Mikal Bridges' shooting mechanics. After a rough preseason, in which Bridges shot just 2 of 19 from beyond the arc, Windhorst questioned whether his new shooting form would hold up during the regular season. This raised a red flag for some fans, as Bridges has been a reliable shooter throughout his career. But, as with most preseason woes, there's a belief that once the games start to count, Bridges will regain his shooting rhythm. Another important point brought up by Windhorst was the Knicks' lack of depth at the center position. With Robinson's injury and Achiuwa sidelined for a few weeks, Karl-Anthony Towns will likely have to spend a lot of time at the 5, a position he's not necessarily known for defensively. This could be an area of concern, especially against teams with dominant big men like the Celtics' Kristaps Porzingis or the Bucks' Brook Lopez. Shams Charania supported Stephen A.'s claim that the Knicks are actively looking to strengthen their roster. He mentioned that the Knicks are already scanning the trade market, potentially seeking reinforcements as the season progresses. While it's early, keeping an eye on the trade market could help the Knicks shore up their bench and provide more options in the front court. Despite these concerns, Stephen A. doubled down on his optimism for the Knicks. His belief is simple. If the Knicks stay healthy, they are the most dangerous team in the East, right up there with the Celtics. He acknowledged the risks, particularly Thibodeau's tendency to push his players hard during the regular season, but believes that if managed properly, the Knicks can go far this year. The panel discussed the challenges ahead, particularly the Knicks' tough opening game against the Celtics. Windhorst warned fans not to panic if the Knicks don't start the season on fire. With injuries and adjustments to new players, it's normal for teams to take a little time to find their rhythm. Windhorst made it clear that while the Knicks might struggle early, particularly with a thin roster and the need for Towns to adjust to a new role, they'll likely hit their stride as the season progresses. Finally, the conversation ended with Stephen A. and the panel reiterating how critical Jaylen Brunson will be for the Knicks this season. Brunson has been nothing short of phenomenal since joining the Knicks, and his leadership on the court will be key to overcoming early season struggles. If Brunson continues to perform at an elite level, he could help carry the Knicks through any bumps in the road, especially as they navigate their depth issues. In conclusion, while there are legitimate concerns surrounding the Knicks as they head into the season, particularly regarding injuries and depth, the overall outlook is positive. The combination of Towns, Brunson, and Bridges gives them a core that can compete with any team in the East. If they can stay healthy and make a few strategic moves during the season, the Knicks could very well be one of the last teams standing in the East. So Knicks fans, what do you think? Will Karl-Anthony Towns and Jaylen Brunson be enough to lead the Knicks deep into the playoffs? Do you think the Knicks need to make more moves to compete with the top teams in the East? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to HoopZone Sport News for more Knicks updates and NBA coverage.